All right, so today's session is going to be about upcycling. Now, for some of us, it is a newer concept, but for some, they've been doing this their whole lives without even knowing that they were doing it. And I think I don't know, if you are one of those people who don't like throwing things, if you're some type of a hoarder of some kind, you'll find ways to reuse things, you know? I think that has happened with all of us at some point or the other. So today is basically celebrating that trait. That's actually a very good thing to have, especially during this time when we are so sadly wasteful and creating so much trash in our lives. So the less trash, the more we can reuse something, upcycle something, the better. So with that said, I would like to go turn by turn. I will leave it up to you guys of who wants to go first, sharing a little bit about something you created and a little more details, how you made it, what gave you the idea, how are you using it, would you do something differently, what are your plans for redoing something of that nature again, maybe. So let's go ahead. Anybody wants to be a volunteer to speak first?
I can go first if you want.
Okay, go ahead, Sister Haqiqah, go ahead.
Okay, so we had our beautiful class last week on doing these cards, the greeting cards for Eid. And I knew that I wanted to do 4 cards, but I didn't want to have a big financial commitment for just 4 cards. So I modified it slightly. Instead of using the clear sheet over the card part, I took from my collection of bedazzles, and I used the clear paper from this and just made it stationary here. The other thing that I did with from the bedazzles, it has like a cardboard type of paper to it. And when I do my care packages, sometimes they're kind of full. I use the priority boxes. And so I push it together as best I can, but then I take this and I put it just under that top part. So that people can't see through to what I'm sending.
Very nice.
So I would do it kind of like this.
Right. That's very nice.
I just thought of this while we were sitting here. My husband and I'm doing a different project with, or for my grandson, is positive messages. And so on poster board, I wrote some positive messages, and for one of them, it was start with Bismillah. So I was thinking to have a masjid on that particular one. And so a lot of us may have these calendars from Clinic. And so I reuse those quite often. And I just thought about something I have done, which is I cut out pictures from the Clinic calendar. All of them. And so I put, you know, where the are.
Very nice.
I think that's one last thing. My son in Atlanta sent us dates, alhamdulillah. They're fresh dates, so they had to be frozen. And so this is a insulated bag, and also it's protected. So I will use that to mail out things as well.
Right. I'm so glad you brought up those calendars. We used to save those calendars. Like it was always my dream to frame them, and because there were such beautiful pictures always.
Yes.
So I've kept them for years and years, and they're timeless. The pictures are really unique and very beautiful. I'm going to put the attention next to my sister because I think she's here for a limited time.
Okay.
So that she can leave. So Sakina, once you put your video on, please share what you upcycled. I think it was a very cool thing what you had. 1 second.
Hello everyone. Assalamualaikum. My name is Sakina for those of you who don't know me. So today I'm going to talk about a project in my house and something I try really hard to. It's not just one project, but I'm really big on thrifting furniture because I really think that you find more unique pieces as long as you're able to clean it properly and everything, obviously. So I had a hand-me-down, let me flip the screen 1 second. A really old hand-me-down piece of chest of drawers, or I guess it's called hutch, basically, yeah. And it came with the old dining table that was sold to somebody, and then my aunts and uncles were trying to get rid of it, and at the time I was really on a low budget with furnishing my home, so it was not black, but it was quite scratched up, old, super old looking, and obviously the style is not so much in for a lot of the modern homes, but I definitely thought it was a unique piece. It's a mid-century looking piece. So I filled in all the holes, the extra holes, because it came originally with really old piece of hardware basically. And so I filled up the holes, I painted it black, I added some more modern knobs, and it's honestly one of my favorite pieces in the house, and it cost me a total of like $15 with the paint and the knobs. So yeah, and it's a really big piece of furniture, very, very sturdy. So I know it will be something that I will take to my house, because right now I live in an apartment. But yeah, so thrifting, flipping furniture pieces that make more unique pieces for your home is a great idea. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. I thought that was a great idea. A lot of us do end up having furniture that is really good quality, and we just need to kind of refresh it. And I know, Sakina, in the past, you have even suggested, when I bought tires for a party decor, you said you wanted to paint them and make it into something. So you have all these ideas, right? Yeah. Anything else you have in mind that you'd like to share? I like your painting in the back. Would you like to share how you made that?
Yeah, so obviously art is a very expensive thing, and I'm really into statement pieces. So let me try to flip the camera again. So I have this really large piece of art in my house, and it was an old canvas that I owned. I put some wood, I got some wood from Home Depot, put it around it, drilled it in, and I'll be honest, this was made super quickly. All you need is some paint in a water bottle and add some water to it, shake it up. And abstract art is so in right now, so this is just another quick project for my home. And yeah.
So you used an old canvas piece right there, and you just splattered paint on it, basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can use decals, you can paint, there's like tons of things you can do with it, so.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
And I want you to be on still, because there's somebody you know.
I'm listening, don't worry, I'll listen. I might not be.
There's one more special guest, all the way from India.
That's it, Mom.
Yes, there she is. Okay. So Mom, first of all, how is it in India?
Assalamualaikum, Zara.
Walaikum
assalam.
How is everything in India? You guys are in the news.
I know.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, in North it's really, really bad. Alhamdulillah, still we are doing good, especially in Hyderabad, not that bad. So many cases are coming every hour. There are so many new cases are coming, and we are watching continuously the news and stuff. But Alhamdulillah, better than in the north is really, really, really bad.
Right.
Allah rahm kare, bas Allah tu karam farma de.
We're
Right.
keeping it all in our du'as.
Yes. So well, let me call you Sister Zara to be formal. How can you share with us your upcycle project? I think that this is another great idea that you have used. If you want to flip your camera, is that easier? Do you know how to
Yes,
flip your
sure.
camera?
Okay.
You know the thing that says that will switch your camera focus from your face to what you're showing.
Be on the top next to the
Yes,
volume.
I'm trying, but it's not going.
Try one more
Okay,
time. Do it,
I'll
Jen.
just do this like this. Okay.
Okay.
This is like I made some Qurani Sharif cover or juice, you know,
Book covers.
I can
You
make
mean
it
book covers, you mean?
book covers, or you can do it with for Pansuras and Qurani Sharifs and any religious books. You can do it for. So it's very, very easy. I use the handkerchiefs, or you can use the bandanas, and just whatever you have at home, so you can use it. Just a cord and few little tassels and any cards. So we should have exactly a square piece of cloth. So it is very easy. So I made this with the handkerchief. I made like this.
We can see totally. Yes. There you go. Much better.
Yeah. This is the handkerchief. I made this with into this. I put a Qurani Sharif in here, and I made some small kerchiefs like this. It is very, very easy, and you can use bandanas too. And I put the small Qurans or Pansuras in it, and it's very simple. Just we have to sew 2 seams. That's all you can do. This is the way
yeah, go ahead and do that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is the only one seam over here, and you can take this part to this. So you can do it like a triangle here. Here we go. This is these 2 seams only. That's all you have to do. And you can put just this cord over like this, over here at this end, and you can wrap the Qurani Sharif like this, or a book over here.
So
I did this.
So basically, you need a square piece of cloth, or a handkerchief.
Square
A
piece of
handkerchief
cloth,
is already
or
cut up for
any
you.
cord. Yes, you can do it with bandanas or handkerchiefs or any cords. If you want to decorate it like giving to a bride or something, you can decorate like something golden or silver. You can use it over here. If you can use the plain cloth, you can decorate more, you know, different ways. So this is the cord. You can use any cord. So any ribbon, like a satin ribbon, like a 1/2 inch one. And these are the kerchiefs I use over here for the bigger ones like this. And I made this.
Very nice. I think that's a very, very cute way to use, because usually you want to cover your must-haves and you want to keep it protected.
And it looks so, it's all done. So only 2 seams. So that's all you can do. And just to put a cord, and it looks, you know, you can feel so, you know, colorful with the, you know, with different colors. And it looks so decorative and you feel good. And it's very easy to wash, and, you know, you can use it. So whatever piece of cloth you have at home, it should be a square one, and you can do it.
That's very nice. Now, can I see you again, your face, if you don't mind? Now, I know that, you know, your mom was a master upcycler, because I remember she would not throw even bags of rice, right? She would reuse the burlap and make doormats or something.
Rugs,
Rugs.
And then,
and what else did she do with like old
She
cloth?
used to make like a braid, you know, she used to braid all the cotton saris. She take small strips of the cotton saris, and she used to braid it all, and she used to sew on the burlap thing over all the braided things. So it looks so beautiful, colorful, and you can use it. And she sewed all the braids one.
Right. So she would make braids with old pieces of cloth, basically, and use it to design
the
anything
ornis, you know, the hijabs or anything. Old cloth. And she always say, don't buy stuff from outside. Whatever we have, we can recycle it. And it looks really good. Some beautiful wall hangings, like a happy birthday banner, or kind of, you know, the square kind of very colorful. She used all the brocades, and she used to make all the, what do you call, the quilts, with the small different pieces of cloth, different pieces. And she sewed all the, you know, all different sizes. It looks so beautiful. With brocades or any satins, you know. She used to put some, what do you call, the motifs, and she put all the what do you call, the piping kind of stuff. So she can really so many things. Like for weddings, she used to make all the mandaps and khalins. She changed everything. Sometimes, you know, she put some effort, and it looks so beautiful, all colorful for the weddings and stuff.
That's a great idea.
She used to make boys topis also, and I still have one that she made for my son.
Oh wow!
Oh really?
You know, she used eyelet pieces, like, you know, the fabric eyelet, the white, and then either she would kind of put a lining or without lining, and then I still have that.
Yeah. Oh really? That's good.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of us hoard things because we don't want to, you know, get rid of memories, right? So what happens? What I like what you mentioned with the quilting. So if you have memorabilia, like for example, your son's, like I know I'm saving a lot of my children's like special clothes from their school with their school logos or their favorite sports teams. Eventually, I would love to make them into a quilt, like just get pieces of those cloths and put them together. Maybe I might not make it myself, but I might hire someone. Help out a senior.
You have some plans for it. So
yeah, I think that is a great way to save a memory and make something that is actually useful, because they're not going to wear that shirt again. So that's another idea. Now I'm going to give Sister Zarina. I know you've been patiently waiting, so I'll let you speak. Thank you so much for being patient. But thank you, Mom, all the way from India.
Yes, thank you so much, Zainab, for letting me join this very small thing.
And we are praying for all of you in India.
Oh, thank you so much. We needed it badly. Thank you so much.
Yes, and
please remember us in your prayers.
Right, and you're welcome to stay on. We have a few more minutes, so just not many people, but it will work out. If you want to stay on, you're welcome to stay.
Oh, sure.
So go ahead, Sister Zarina. What do you have to share with us?
Well, not much actually, Zainab, because what quilt and whatever I did, I already, you know, gave it to my children years ago, or crochet, like the topi you make with crochet, put it around the, you know, the cap. And it's given away. Mostly I recycle. Mostly I do with my plants. Multiply them. And different pots, different, you know, to experiment different ways of planting, planting and doing that.
And I have received one of your flower arrangements in the past with succulents and stuff. So I know that is something that you guys make it into a beautiful, like a present for somebody, right? You can make an arrangement with things from your garden. And I think that's a great way. That's another way to upcycle and reuse something that you have in your home and bless someone's home with some kind of greenery. So thank you so much for sharing. And
I will post you some pictures where succulents in a glass, you know, on Olive Online. And you'll see there are varieties of glasses.
Okay.
Different way of doing it. You know, from one stamp, you can make 50 arrangements.
Wow, that's pretty.
Wow.
You have different kinds of flowers all over, you know, all around your backyard. One stamp and you put it together, it becomes a bouquet.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And somebody giving me a bouquet of roses, I have their roses in my backyard.
That's right.
Beautiful pink color smelly roses.
That's right.
It takes about 4 months though.
Wow.
Stamp going, it takes about 4 months.
That's a lot of patience. Oh my
Yes, of course, patience pays off, right?
That's right. That's right.
Sabar mein sakkar.
Sister Narmeen, would you like to go next?
I'm sorry, I needed to unmute. So I'm here at the Olive base, working with our Ramadan mailers. Let me see how I can share this because I'm on my phone.
If you know how to flip your camera, that would help.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. There we go. So I needed a storage for my tea lights because I use a lot of tea lights. And so I used the Ferrero Rocher chocolate box and just upcycled it so that I can keep my my tea lights. And it's so easy just to pick my tea light up and use it. Whereas before I would be like funneling, you know, playing around trying to get my tea lights. Now I know exactly where it is.
Well, you decorated it too.
I just did, you know, Ferrero Rocher has this thing in the middle which you can't remove, and I just wanted to cover it. And I just used the paper doily and, you know, and just decorated it. That's all. Just to give it a little bit of a upscale look.
That's very nice. I love it.
And I have one thing to share with you guys. So anyone of you guys
I'm sorry. I think there's an echo because there's multiple iPads in the room.
Sharing, yeah, because we're sharing with the Rubina and
I'm going to turn my volume off.
Okay, so one other thing that I wanted to share was that if any one of you bought the our cookbook and it came in a clear bag, you can reuse that to make your e-cards that we did last week for your clear acetate paper. You can use that. And you could make at least 4 cards from that.
Okay.
Just going on with what Sister Haqiqah shared.
Right, right. I agree. And if some of you remember when we had our speaker, Mona Binani, she had a box in her home where she saved things like her recycle box, and she would keep, like, again, cardboard covers, plastic covers, that you can somehow find a reusable way to repurpose them. So that is always a good idea, to have a bin that you can, you know, sometimes twine or, you know, little cords that come in presents, or, you know, I always save a ribbon. Whenever you get ribbons on presents, you save the ribbon and reuse it again, right? So those are little, again, you can reuse. All right, so who's left in the group? Sister Rubina, are you sharing something today with us?
I didn't bring anything, but I have implemented some ideas. One is in, you know, the little squares that come on the bread. I'm planning to use them for my charging cords that I read from that article.
Right, right.
And I retrieved some plant pots for Zarina from my trash that gardener had thrown away. So Zarina, I have 7 or 8 that I recovered.
Okay.
The gardener threw them away, and my husband said, did you want those? He threw them. I said, okay, I'll take them out of the trash. So,
right.
What sizes are they?
They're not small, they're medium size.
Okay.
We got the bird of paradise plants in them. And then one of my husband's t-shirts that was just being worn out, I have it and I'm planning to cut it for our, our hand napkins at our dinner table. So I can just put it in the box to stop reduce the napkins, dinner napkins I use. So I'm learning a lot and applying a lot.
Yeah, so that's a great way. I like how you're thinking, like before you throw something in the trash, you're thinking, how can I reuse this some way or the other, right? There's so many things we can do. Oh, go ahead.
I'm not hearing you all.
And send my friend.
We can.
Now I've started saving my. Can you hear me?
Rubina.
So I'm saving the yogurt containers and for transport instead of using my clear storage container. So that's saving, right?
Yes, yes, it is. So something that we were stereotyped for is okay, like reusing your yogurt containers as Tupperware. No, but if you have it already, I mean, if you're buying yogurt and if you're reusing it, why not?
It comes in a container,
right?
Instead of throwing it in trash, I wash it and I send it over.
Right,
So,
it's a great,
I use it as a pot. I make a drill on the yogurt and, to transfer,
That's right. That's right.
Once it grows up into a better container.
That's right. That's a great idea. I mean, there's so many things you can do. And which reminds me, I have something to share. So one more thing that we throw a lot is glass containers or glass jars, pasta jars. So Sakina and we had a summer camp with the kids. So we save all our glass jars to do art projects with our nieces, nephews, and children. So we made these Moroccan lanterns. And I mean, it's not perfectly made, but all we did was we took colored paint and mixed it in something called Mod Podge. And then we just kind of like, spread it in our glass jar and we baked it, and the baking or put it in the oven, sorry. So that kind of it stained the glass for us. And then we used paint that comes in like with a little tip with it. And we made like a henna type of design. And now it's a beautiful Moroccan lantern. And we can put a tea light that Sister Narmeen has stored in her Ferrero Rocher box, or we can put an LED light or whatever. And now we have something that is reusable. So glass jars are my favorite because glass you can use as a vase again. And a lot of us reused our coffee jars for storing our spices and for our pantry. I think those are great ideas. Don't throw those away. Instead of buying new things to organize your pantry, put them in glass jars. They're the best thing out there, easy to clean, wash, and stuff. Pia, you just joined. Are you planning to share something today? I don't want to put you on the spot unless you
well, I do. The only thing that I clean my containers when I get them, and I recycle them. But the ones the glass containers, I have been keeping them, and I just store stuff in them. I don't decorate them or anything, but I do reuse them, like for candy or for anything that I have.
Actually, basically, I have been doing what everyone has kind of talked about, from furniture to little small twist ties and everything. I recycle many things. And my spices jars are also, I save all the glass jars. There's the wide mouth jars are like really good for spices and lentils. And we don't even get those anymore because those are Folgers coffee jars. And those jars, they don't make them anymore. And actually I'm trying to, I have quite a few, and I'm trying to find something from that time, but they aren't available. If somebody knows about Folgers jars, let me know, I would buy those. And my recent project, actually, this is my most recent one that's like, still I'm working on it. My grandchildren go to a private school and they have a uniform. And last year they were home throughout the year because of the pandemic. And now they have started going back to school, but their uniforms have become small. And my daughter was planning to get the new ones. I told her not to get the new ones because I can extend the length of the, they wear jumpers. So this is the jumper. I'll show it to you. This is the jumper, and this is the length that I can increase by adding a fabric. And I didn't buy the fabric because I had these pants, the Indian Pakistani suit pants that accidentally I burnt, and the fabric was really nice. And then I didn't want to throw it away, and I was just saving it for, I don't know, for whatever occasion. And then when I thought of extending this skirt, I used that fabric. So I was able to extend 4 skirts and 4 jumpers and 4 skirts with that fabric. Oh, and I'll show you. Yeah, and I'll show you the skirt. I mean, these are the last 2 left, and I was working on them, so I brought it. This is how the length has increased.
Oh, I can't even tell.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. So there are pins. So this is the fabric I used inside, the fabric of the pants. That
4 inches, almost 4 inches.
Yeah, about 2.5 inches. And during pandemic, when we were working on our mass project, we used lot of fabric that was sitting at home. Sometimes we have these sets that somehow for whatever reason the pants or something doesn't fit, so it just stays there. So I used the new fabric, but that was just sitting at home, and made a lot of masks out of it. And one gentleman from one of the organizations, her husband passed away, and she wanted to make her shirts useful because they were kind of relatively very new, and she just wanted something memorable for him. So she gave me these shirts. This was one of the shirts, this shirt, and this was another shirt. So I made 2-sided mask with this fabric. So and there is a little insert for the what you call the filter. So these masks are really, really good. And those shirts were like very new. It just looks like you bought it from the store. I mean, the fabric and everything is so good.
Neatly done.
And there is another project that I recently finished. Is when I went to India, I had bought this bedspread. It comes with the shams, but somehow the shams are very small. They don't fit the pillows here. So I made these bags out of that. And this fabric is like really strong, like a twill. So it can really hold a lot of like heavy stuff. And I made this little, I sewed it at the corner to make it a base. So it's not like a one flat pillowcase. It has a base underneath. So see, this is how the base is. Can you see it?
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like about almost like 5 inches base. And then I used most of the fabric because I had to make the straps with the remaining fabric. And I used some of them to make homemade napkins, because those napkins that we buy from outside, they're very big. And my husband says that even for a small little thing that you don't need to use one whole big, can't you get something smaller? I said, we can't get something smaller. I can make one. So I made like plenty of those small ones. So we don't have to use like one whole big one every time we use the napkin, because we use cloth napkins. We don't use paper napkins because we are saving trees. And Sakina, I'm so proud of you for what you have done. If you're there, the furniture, probably you saved a couple of trees. You saved a couple of trees from cutting down. Yesterday this little boy was presenting to save the trees and plant the trees, and 15 billion trees are cut down every year throughout the world, and that is very, very sad. And the article says that since beginning of the civilization, we have lost 40% of the forests. I mean, that's a huge number. I mean, beautiful green earth is turning kind of brown. So this subject has become like my passion, and I don't let a single opportunity go by and not talk about it. So this subject is very dear to me, and it is very important, and I think it should be important to everybody, because we want to save our forests, and we want to not use like so much furniture, papers, and everything is thrown away. So without giving a second thought, we just throw away things.
And now
we did like, the similar project, what Sakina did. We had purchased our dining table in, I think, 1986 or 87. And it was, that time that light whitewash finish, the light wood finish was in fashion. So we had that furniture. And when we moved to this house, I wanted to change it. I didn't want to buy a new furniture because we were like into like cherry color and cherry wood and all that, because that was in that time. So we changed the upholstery, and we changed the finish of the fabric, the wood. And now the furniture that we have, people thought we bought a new one, but it was like a recycled one that we had it from before. And in India also, like Zainab's mom was showing those little book covers that we make. In India, I mean, especially the household that I grew up with, we did a lot of recycling. Everything was recycled. And I feel so proud of being part of that civilization. I'm really grateful to Allah that I was brought up in that society that taught me how to recycle stuff.
Right. And the point in all of this is basically, if we lived without these things before, then we can live without them again. Like there's nothing that needs to change. Just go back to how our grandmothers and moms and dads used to live, and they lived without all these things. So especially given the fact that Eid is coming up and we're all going to be buying presents and gifts, think twice, like what is something that you have that you can repurpose, redecorate, and make it special, and how can we make a gift that is not a burden on somebody that they will end up throwing away, and instead reusing something. So maybe baking something or making something is better versus a plastic piece of something that they will not probably use. So Sister Zakiyah, I know Sakina, you have to go. I'm going to let you go, and then we'll go on to Sister Zakiyah next. Sakina, I believe you wanted to share something. Unmute yourself, please. Thank you so much, Shrimanti. That was very nice. I like how we have a good mix of different.
We were just talking about jars, and so I used to have a whole bunch of old jars. So I painted all of the lids to make it match, and this is my spice rack at home. I know I don't cook as much as some of you guys might, so I don't have as many spices, but yeah, it's just another thing to make it makes cooking a lot easier. So since we were talking about jars, I thought I would share it. And yeah.
And where did you get the shelves from?
The shelves are from IKEA, and they're extremely cheap. And they're meant for spices specifically, so they don't fall even if there's an earthquake or something. And yeah, sorry, let me clean my camera really quick. But yeah, and then I just labeled them because I am still a newbie cooker, so I don't always remember what each one is. So, and that's it, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sakina. All right, Sister Zakiyah, you're up next. I'm so sorry that was happening. Now I can see your video.
Can you see me? Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I did go off and come back in again. So no, I just I like to repurpose. I recycle everything. I clean recyclable, I recycle, and I also clean containers that I get, plastic and glass. The ones I keep, the really nice, cute little jars, and I reuse them, something like that. I just reuse, I clean them and I reuse them a lot. And then when I try to store everything with glass now. That's what I do, basically. I don't, nothing, that's what I do. I recycle everything.
Beautiful, because you're being mindful. You're being mindful, and that is a great trait to have. And back in the day, people would, again, like I said, a lot of people would be like, why don't you throw things, just get rid of stuff? But hey, that's actually, you're being a little more green and eco-friendly. Sister Isma, are you planning to share something today?
I'm living in all by myself, and I don't have many extra stuff and old stuff. But when you got this up, I have this little thing. I said, what will I show? I have nothing to show, but I'm so interested in recycling. Whenever anything comes home and it has a packing, every time it comes, at once it goes to my mind, what can I use it for? Where I think at once ideas come in the mind. How can this be used? Right. So then the problem comes of storage. He keeps storing these stuffs, and then later on, somebody in the house says, "What are you doing this for?" See, at the end of the day, you have to throw it away. So no, but it's so the packing is so beautiful, and sometimes it's very sturdy stuff. I want to part with that, but when you said that you are going to have something, I have this little basket. It looks like a basket. It is not a basket. You see that? I'll just show you what it is actually. All the secret will come out. See, we got these dates for Ramzan the other day, and we finished with the dates, and this is the container outside, the plastic. So I was thinking, what can I show? Zainab is going to have something put up that day, everybody has. So I went into my room and I saw this headscarf, you have it.
That's good.
That's
good. That's creative.
It so well. And I tucked the red.
It's a perfect fit.
See, it goes
that makes it look pretty.
And then in the inside, I said, what can I put? I put all my tasbih. I don't know what you call it. We have the tasbih for the rose, for saying your, subhanallah, and this tasbih.
Your prayer beads, yeah.
I put my tasbihs inside. I put my beads that I put on my finger. Something that is always has to be handy, so anything can go into it. So I have my tasbihs in here, and it has become a little cute basket. Something that we have landed up in the bin outside, in the recycle bin.
Very nice, very creative. See,
it just took me 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, I just went into the room, the idea went into my mind, and then product.
No, that is a very...
That's amazing.
Zainab.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Would you like to share something?
Can I share a little thing?
Yes, sure, sure.
MashaAllah, Assalamualaikum.
I just want to... I just want to show you little things, but this is a tea box we use in Hyderabad, and I made this.
We can't see it. We can't see it, Mom. There you go. Now I can.
This is a tea box that we use in Hyderabad. This is a tea box, and I made this the pen holders or the brush holders.
Yeah. I do that.
That's a nice idea.
And this is a shoe box, and I cover this with the wrapping paper. And the leftovers of the gift boxes, I made this envelopes.
Oh, for Eid, you can give Eid in there.
Yes, just for gifts, you know, put some money in it in India. So I made all these envelopes, the leftovers, you know, the gift wrappers. So I made these envelopes and I made this pen holders or brush holders for your cosmetics. I joined 2 boxes and put the, you know, small tissue rolls thing to hold something very delicate. So I made this. I just want to share this. It's a very childish thing.
Organize. No, that's very creative.
It's very childish, but whenever kids come to my place, I used to make them let them work, you know, to cover these boxes so that can spend some time with me over here. So we used to have fun with kids.
Thank you for sharing. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And you know, this reminds me when we were young, we used to cover aluminum tins and make pen holders. Remember?
Yes, you remember, Zeni?
Yes. Yeah, I remember. I mean, we had to make fun stuff. We didn't have the you know, like, I don't know, we wouldn't just get up and go to a store and buy things. That was just not a part of our
just little things, but just I want to show you that.
Right. And now I know Sister Nisha Hasim, are you there? If you want to get off camera and say hi and say salam to us. I know you've been MIA from Olive. Sister Nisha, can you hear me? No? Okay. I'm going to let it be. It's okay. She's there. Salam to her. But I think we're almost at time. Is there anybody who has questions for some of our presenters today or want to know more? Sure.
I wanna share one thing.
Sure.
You know, we talked about the small furniture pieces. About 4 or 5 years ago, we moved to a very, very old house, and it had so much oak cabinets, like really good quality wood, but it was very, very old. And my husband and I, we were wondering, you know, what to do. And we were lucky that our designer and the painter got together and they painted everything. So we didn't have to lose the wood, including doors and kitchen cabinets and everything. And then we had so much cabinet space, like there was, like she helped me repurpose, like from one area to another area. And it just, it was, I mean, helped so much financially, but it made the whole ambience look very nice too. And we were able to use that really good quality wood that was already there for just, you know, 2 coats of paint.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Like a lot of us who happen to be lucky enough to live in like older homes, older made homes, usually the quality of wood is really, really good. And if they, you know, take out wood from whatever ceilings, floors, you can repurpose it and make it into a table. I've seen so many great ideas, especially now that vintage decor is so in. They're bringing back. So if you have old antique furniture, those things are actually very valuable. You can just repurpose them, you know, get them stained again or something.
If I get a half a minute of
sure.
Yeah. See, back home, you know, we have walnut furniture, which is very hard. It's a very strong wood, and it can be carved, and they're beautiful pieces of furniture which are passed on. Like I have furniture from my father, which will stay there for years. You know, if I pass it on to my children, if they were living in the same place, they were living in the same area, they would have used it, you know, and they're beautiful pieces of furniture. And walnut furniture is supposed to be very famous because it can be carved. You can carve on that wood, and it has got lovely grains also. So if you have, you don't give up those pieces of furniture. We would like to polish it and it becomes new again.
Right.
you appreciate, who have, who are, you don't want to part with those things,
Right, right. And that's basically, I guess, the lesson for today is don't throw away stuff. Be a hoarder. That's fine. Be a proud hoarder. And just make sure that you're using it, not just leaving it around.
One more thing, then another thing we did, now that we're talking about the same thing, we had some extra doors. And my husband made a frame and put a sheet over it, and that became a Lego table for our grandson. And I'm sure you've seen it in the garage.
Do you have the picture? Do you have the picture of that, Rubina?
I think you have it somewhere.
I'm trying to find that, but I couldn't find it. It's such a beautiful table.
But that was just, leftover doors that we weren't going to use, and they sheet over it.
Right.
I mean, and the lesson is not just to reuse things. Do not buy more things.
Do not buy. Yes.
Do not buy more things.
I'm trying not to buy more things. Yes.
Another thing before we end, that because of all of what you've mentioned, is I know we love to share, like save memories, right? We love, like, suppose it's like your, I don't know, your mom's outfit or a sari or a dupatta. You can even frame them sometimes, and that could be a great piece of decor in your home. And it reminds you of your grandmother or your mom or your dad. And it's just that cloth, you can just stretch it up and put it all on the frame and frame it, and it becomes a great piece. It becomes a story in itself. So sometime you have a guest, you can tell them like, hey, this belonged to my mom and I'm honoring it. Right?
Postcards are very good for framing.
Postcards are very good for framing. So all these things are, again, memory worthy, and you can make it into a piece of decor. Instead of going and buying something random, you have something personal that you are displaying, and reminds you of the special people in your life. So quilting, framing, these are all great ways to keep those memories alive. Or even if you like scrapbooks or collages, there's so many things you can do. And I love how
cookbook is a wonderful. Our cookbook is a wonderful example of upcycling too.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it has my mom's recipes in it.
That's right. And now, I mean, I know your mom's recipes are probably like, written down in a book or somewhere. Now it's you've shared it with everyone. So
my recipe is also my grandmother's recipe, and that she has gotten it from her mom. So it's like a maybe 100-year-old recipe that I put it in the cookbook.
That's right. Now, which reminds me, before we wrap up, we have a few limited copies left. So if you want, cookbooks are going away before we know it. So if you need any, let us know next month. I think next Monday we will be here, and then the following week we are taking the week off. So the last few days of Ramadan and Eid, that week, I'm going to be on vacation. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just taking time off and not have to worry about being on a computer from 11 to 12. You guys can all focus on your families and stuff. Okay. So without further ado, thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate all the projects we shared today. I think we had a good variety. We had furniture, clothing, jars, paper, everything you can imagine, cloth,
pictures.
Yes, pictures. So that was some great ideas, and I hope, if anything, we will reuse these ideas in our own lives. Okay, so take care, everyone, and see you.
Thank you so much, Zainab. Thank you.
Olive Community Services is a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Southern California that provides culturally appropriate services to seniors, their family, and the community. Through its physical and virtual interactive programs, Olive engages participants in a variety of ways that promotes health and well-being. To learn more about Olive Community Services, to get involved, or to make a donation, please visit www.olivecs.org or email info@olivecs.org. Be a change maker, and together, let's live, learn, and thrive.